Thank you very much. What an introduction. I'd love to say that I'm really pleased to be here tonight, but unfortunately I'm not because I'm bricking it. So please, hit the slide. So I spent 3 years at university doing biochemistry, and I've only used it in a pub quiz since then. So I thought it'd be quite fitting to impart a little bit of knowledge about the circle of life, hopefully. So biologically, we're primed to look for certain things when it comes to finding a mate. As a woman, you're looking for a man to protect your offspring and help them survive. But as a man, you're looking for a woman with big boobs and nice legs. The gent on the next slide is an international pickup artist. His name is Mystery. He is the pioneer of the mystery method. He believes in peacocking to attract a mate. That is, dressing up in a slightly silly manner in order to bring women towards you. I'd suggest reading his book. It's quite fascinating. I'm waiting for the next slide now. If you don't fancy peacocking, then you can always rely on lynx, which supposedly attracts mountains and mountains of ladies and influences the way they think and act around you with pheromones, which unfortunately doesn't work, but there's no harm in trying it out. Of mammals, there are a small select number that mate for pleasure, including humans, dolphins, a number of different types of monkeys, including these characters who are about to pop up now, bonobos. Yeah, thank you very much. One in the house. Now, if you've ever Google searched images of bonobos, they are having sex in every single picture. It's like monkey porn, unfortunately. I thought this was an innocent picture until I realized it was probably taken by another bonobo. But they use it as a greeting. They use it for conflict resolution. They do it all the time. It's not all fun and games, though, in the animal kingdom. If you are lucky enough as a drone bee to mate with a queen bee, your testicles explode and your penis snaps off inside the vagina, which makes great sense biologically, but not very nice for you. We're looking at mammalian pregnancy periods now. Indian elephants tip the scale at 1 year and 8 months, and you've got some marsupials which are pregnant for only 11 days. And we, or female humans, are smack bang in the middle at 9 months. So, once the dirty deed has been done, you've got these haploid cells. They have half the number of chromosomes, that's eggs and sperm, that fuse together to make a diploid cell. Now, if it's genetically normal, or your child is genetically normal, excuse me, they will have 23 pairs of chromosomes. Now, it's interesting to note at this point that if you have triplicate or 3 copies of any of these chromosomes, it is fatal, apart from trisomy, so that's 3 copies of chromosome 21, which is also known as Down syndrome. It's also a really good point here to note some quite weirdly named genes in the human genome. There is the Pokemon gene, Tigger gene, arse gene, and also Sonic Hedgehog, which will pop up now, discovered in 1995. Quite an important gene. Now, doctors have their reservations about genes being named in such a jovial manner. Can you imagine, as a doctor, having to tell a parent their child has got a mutation in their arse gene? Of course not. Okay, so we're looking at aging of the body here rather than of the mind. With time, your DNA in each of your cells will accumulate mutations that in themselves might be quite innocent, but a combination of them together may well lead to cancer. Now, if you've ever been on Facebook and seen someone say, let's hope we find a cure this year, it's lovely, and I'm not taking anything away from Cancer Research UK or any other companies, but unfortunately it's wrong. Cancer is a family of related diseases, all characterized by uncontrolled cell division. For example, breast cancer, there's 7 main types, which will be caused by any number of mutations in a myriad of different genes. So there's not one blanket cure. This is a really good point to note that I've forgotten what the next slide is, so I'm really hoping it comes on quite quickly. Thank you very much. Mutations in genes most commonly that cause cancer result in an increase in cell proliferation signals or a decrease or an absence in cell death signals. It's a very fine balance. And when it's tipped slightly in favor of cell survival, you end up with cancer. Cool, okay, we're on to the last section now, death. If I was part of the 4 tribe in Papua New Guinea, I would probably eat the brains of the recently deceased to try and pass on their knowledge to the next generation. Unfortunately, it didn't. It just passed on their form of CJD. In this country, we don't have anything quite as outrageous as eating the brain of the deceased that I'm aware of. We tend to either cremate individuals or box them up and stick them in the ground. I believe that's the end of life. Unfortunately, it's a bit cynical, but if I was a Buddhist monk, I would believe that the death of the body is just the death of the body. The spirit stays on this planet and affixes itself to a new body, a new life form, which I think is lovely, and I hope that is the case. I hope that I'm wrong. But whatever your take is on life, life after death, or anything that we've touched on here, and especially if I've offended you in any way, I do apologize, please don't take life too seriously, because no one makes it out alive anyway. I hope you've enjoyed the talk. Thank you very much.